Adam Idah, the transfer saga of the summer looks to be coming to an end finally.
Yeah, it was a dull affair, wasn't it, from start to finish? We knew where it was going to get to. There was never any question that Adam Idah wouldn't become a Celtic player. The only kind of thing that you look at and you scratch your head about now is, I did say that Celtic are excellent at, they won't be strong-armed into paying what they consider to be over the odds. They're good in these negotiations. Every pound's a prisoner. But somehow they've waited all this time and still done a deal for in excess of £8 million, rising potentially to 9.5. That doesn't sound like hard bargaining on the part of Michael Nicholson, the chief executive. In fact, when you look at the sum involved, you think, well, surely you could have just, paid a little more at the start. I don't mean pay more than that. I think the price might have gone up during the negotiations. If Celtic had gone about this and not tried to lowball Norwich, then I'm sure they could have got a deal done weeks ago. And perhaps Brendan Rodgers wouldn't have had to go into the season, wrapping Kyogo up in cotton wool and frightened to death about what happens if he gets an injury to him. This doesn't strike as good, particularly. I don't mean the transfer itself, because I think Adam Idah will be a terrific addition to the squad. We know what he can do, and I think he'll only get better. I don't think we've seen what his full potential is, and I think we will see that now over the next couple of years at Celtic. So in that respect, it's good business, but I just don't understand it. I'm now really struggling to understand why there was such a delay, because that looks like top dollar. So it's not a case of Celtic have knocked the price down substantially over a period of time. If anything, that looks to me as if the price went up.
Yeah.
So that's good, and it's a relief for Celtic fans that they've got that the striker situation, or at least partly addressed, because Brendan Rodgers has said that he wants 2 strikers in. But I still think there's 3 or 4 others that Brendan Rodgers will want in. And so much time has been kind of frittered away here over the Adam Idah negotiation. You wonder if Celtic had their eye on the ball with the other guys.
Yeah.
Because the problem is they've been in a negotiation with Norwich since the end of last season to get this Idah deal done.
Yeah.
They've now just got over 2 weeks left, and they'll need to bring in at least 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5 in the space of just over 2 weeks. So from a Celtic point of view, you hope they've got their ducks in a row here, because things could become pretty volatile if amongst the Celtic support, if they get to the end of this window and really their squad is no stronger than it was at the end of last season.
Yeah, that's exactly as Keith says. I mean, Idah and Bernardo were 2 players who were on loan last season. That's the 2 that they've done the deals for. As you say, they should have been the easiest ones. Having already spoken to clubs and says, look, we're going to make these permanent. This is what we'll pay, or even having a purchase option and written into the contract.
That's standard. That's standard practice. If you loan a player in January, you try and negotiate a flat fee, which can be triggered if all sides are happy with it.
Here is what we'll pay.
And by the way, that fee probably would have been about $5 million.
But, and that is the irony, but isn't it? You have fans who were screaming at Celtic to spend money, spend big, and then they spend
big. This is ridiculous.
Is it really worth that? You think, it just shows you just cannot, you just can't win. But I mean, I've seen a few people making the point, and it's quite correct to say that. I mean, if Adam Idah had been a Celtic player and did what he did from January to May last season, how much would they demand? If someone else wanted to buy him, you see it now with Matt O'Reilly. So just pay.
Celtic have sold a young kid that had no first team football.
Oh yeah, exactly.
To Stoke for $3 million.
Yeah, for $3 million.
Now,
exactly.
If you're going to sell a guy that can't get into your first team for $3 million, then what do you expect?
Yeah.
And you look at the Idah one as well, and you kind of think to yourself, this is a guy that has proven over his 6 months loan deal to be Brendan Rodgers' second favourite striker. And by the way, at times there wasn't much in it between him and Kyogo. On the other hand, was allowed to leave, but he left for Genk, for $4 and a bit million.
Yeah.
So if you're Norwich, you're looking at that going, well, you want him because he's an upgrade on this guy that you've just sold for $4.5 million, and you're offering me $4 million for Adam Idah. So there wasn't this has been a strange one, a really strange negotiation. It's not like Celtic to be forced into a position where I think they've got themselves boxed in with it, and they've eventually realised, look, Kyogo nearly got injured at the weekend. We're in a really tricky situation.
Yeah.
The fans are starting to get angry.
Yeah.
Let's just get this deal done.
Yeah.
And I think they've paid over the odds. But that doesn't mean that I don't think he'll not be worth that amount over the period, because I think Celtic might have something with all the raw materials required to be a proper Premier League striker, and